All right, Algebra finance students, Algebra 2 finance students. We're doing 7-7 day 2. This is our last section for this chapter. Okay, and it's only 2 examples here, but there's actually a lot of background information you need for these 2 examples. So one of them uses, basic trig ratios that we did talk about a little bit before we went out. And then the other one we haven't really talked about, but there was an extra credit worksheet, angle of elevation and angle of depression. So you have to know quite a bit leading up to this. That's why I linked some other videos on this assignment. So I linked one from Khan Academy, and I linked another one with elevation and depression. But I'll explain them here, and if you want to use the other videos to help you, they're very short. You can watch those as well. So what we need to do here is do a little bit of review for SOHCAHTOA. Okay, and if you remember from geometry, all of these letters stand for something. So the S stands for sine, which is a trig function. Okay, sine is the opposite. That's what the O stands for, over the hypotenuse. And the cosine is what the C stands for, is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. And the TOA, the T represents the tangent, and I'll abbreviate that with tan. Okay, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So when you have a problem here, the first, when you see a triangle and you have a angle measurement here, 66 degrees, and then you have a side length and another side length, you're trying to find something like that where the angles and sides are mixed up, that's your cue that you're going to use one of these functions here. So let's look and see what we have. If I just simplify this and draw just a triangle only off to the side, I have an angle that's 66 degrees. I have this side right here, which is the adjacent side. How do I know it's adjacent? Well, adjacent means next to. So this is right next to it. This one's also next to it, but that's the hypotenuse. Okay, the hypotenuse is always right across from the right angle. And then this one would be the opposite. So the information that I have and that I need involves the adjacent, the opposite, and not the hypotenuse. So I have to look and see which formula involves the adjacent and the opposite. And if I look right over here, I got opposite and adjacent. So then I can just solve this. So I can say the tangent of 66 degrees equals my opposite, which is H, over my adjacent, which is 12. Okay, and once I get this set up, I just have a little bit of algebra to do here. I gotta get a calculator with some trig functions on here, make sure that it's in degrees. Mine says degrees up in the corner if you can see it. And I'm gonna do tangent of 66. So I'll find that first. Okay, so my tangent of 66. And once I get that, I just write that down. So this is about 2.25. And then I can continue on. My next step here would be to free up this H. I would have to multiply by 12. Okay, and I can just keep that in the calculator. So I get 12 times 2.25 is 27. Okay, so the height of this is about 27 feet to answer the question. And I had to use this trig function here. Okay, there was 2 problems down here on your notes. But for this one, what I had to do here is I have to draw a triangle. So it says Juan is 5.75 feet tall. So I'll draw Juan right here. It's 5.75 feet tall. He's standing 90 feet from the base of an apartment building. So he's standing 90 feet from the base of an apartment building. So this is 90 feet right here. I'll just draw the apartment building right here. And the angle of elevation, so he's looking up, so the angle of elevation is going to be right here. The angle of elevation is 62 degrees. So I have 62 degrees. Elevation means he's looking up, and really I should probably scoot him down here so his line of sight with his eyes is even with that line, something like that. Okay, how high is the building? So again, I'm going to use my tangent function because I have the adjacent, and I have the opposite. I don't have anything to do with the hypotenuse. So I'm going to do the tangent of 62 degrees equals opposite, which is h, over 90. Opposite over adjacent right up there. And then I'm going to do my tangent of 62. I'll figure out what that is. That's about 1.88 equals h over 90. My next step, I would multiply by 90. Keep that information in the calculator, multiply it by 90, and it's going to be about 169.3 feet. So h is going to be 169.3 feet. Okay, and I probably could have drew this a little bit better. If I wanted to go back and sketch this again, I would make that angle a little bit bigger. So I might sketch it like this. So a 62-degree angle probably looks something like this. So that would make it a little more realistic. So 1 is right here. Okay, this angle is 62 degrees. This length right here is 90 feet. And this would be the height. Okay, so the height is not quite double the length, but you can see that matches better up better with the diagram there. All right, hope that helps you out. And look at the other videos if you need help with this lesson.